And take another breath. And bring your energy inside. Let each breath bring life force into your being, into your body, into your heart. Let it in and out, so that the breath becomes a wave of life force and love, coming and going, washing over you, each one of us a drop in an ocean of waves, feeling the love wash that Kryon and the entourage has in the room. Feeling the circle of love that draws us all together. And being held in that circle with honor.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. Indeed, this is the first message in the year of the one. And 2017 is going to be packed with potential change. Only the kinds of changes you may see and the catalysts that are here are not necessarily what you saw in the last few years. I'm going to say to you, on this day, if you watch your news, you will not believe anything I'm going to tell you. And that is because the world in 3D, a world that looks at only negative things, will depress you and put you into a state of negativity and fear. And I want to warn those who are listening that this particular attribute will not improve, not this year. In other words, light workers, old souls, you're going to have to be circumspect. What is happening on the planet is more than what you see on the television. There is so much going on here. The shift is here. It's not coming, it's here. And all of these years since 2012 and the end of 2012 have been you calibrating so that you can arrive at the year of the one and rebuild and understand. There are those who've never heard Kryon. Some who are listening to this recording for the first time, you've never heard Kryon. And there's always the question, what is this? Who is this? Could this be real? And so I'll say what I always do. I invite you to tune in to the compassion and the love of God. There is nothing in this message that is fearful. It is always something to celebrate the human being and the state that you're in and what is going on and what you've been through. It celebrates prophecies of thousands of years. This is not the new age. This is now an age that has been prophesied to be. This is an energy that always was coming if you would allow it, and you did. It's not new. It contains the seeds of the ancient knowledge right from the dirt of the earth, right from the stars. Is it too much for you to sit and be loved by the creator of the universe? Is it too much to consider no strings attached? Is it too much for there not to be a doctrine or someone to worship? Is it too much for you? All of those things, dear ones, are appropriate to get in touch. But right now, I ask you, is it too much for you to be known by God? Every soul in this room is eternal. If you want to look at the messages of the masters, there is life after death. And if you want to look at what the ancients taught, there's life after life after life. You are eternal, known by God, loved by God. All of the things that you came with are known. Your innate rings with this. You're in a group of support. Even if you don't know the other person next to you, if you never know their names, I'll tell you there is an alliance here. And the alliance is love, and it's compassion for one another as you move through difficult times. Because you're the lighthouses. There will be those who will come to you in the next days. They're going to say, I'm afraid. I don't know what's going on. The direction of my country, the direction of the world, what's just happened. And what are you going to say? Are you going to join them in fear? Or are you going to stand tall and say, I know it looks bad, but there's something bigger you should know. There's a real shift going on the planet, and it was prophesied. And it has to do with the future of the earth. And what happens when low consciousness starts to change into something a bit higher? Did you ever think for a moment, old soul, that if you just sat there long enough, everybody would be just fine? This takes work. And if you think that perhaps a big stick has been put into everything and stirred vigorously, you're right. And the reason is because what happens next is an offshoot of a wild card, unexpected things you never thought perhaps could ever happen, and some of them very benevolent. But you got to wade through the mud in order to get to the other side. The good news is all around you. You've got the equipment, you've got the tools. An old soul sits in front of me. This may be the first time you've ever come to a meeting like this. I know who's here. You may be wondering what the real message is. Can't you feel it? This is your time. You may know nothing about this, never heard Kryon. Can't you feel it? Something's up. There's something beautiful in all of this. And I'll tell you what it is. It's you. It starts here. Your reaction to other people in fear, your guidance, your mastery. How you become calm. How you react to things that in the past made you crazy. All of these things are starting to shift. And the beauty really is in you. I'm not speaking to one room filled with people. I and the others like myself who will be channeling this weekend are talking to old souls. There's tens of millions of you all over the planet. When I sat on a stage in Tel Aviv. And my partner had brought me to the chair. And what I told them, in the center of the turmoil, that color was going to come to a black and white society. I was speaking to 1,000 old souls and light workers right in the middle of a place that on your news says there's no hope. And on your news says it's only trouble. Only bad things happen there. Just take a look at the news. When's the last time you heard of a wonderful, joyous, compassionate thing happening there? And I'll tell you, there are things in the works there that'll make you weep with joy. And you'll see it's coming, it's changing. There are things coming nobody expects. Solutions that will make sense and that are hard, and it'll come right out of the community in that small little country, not from the West. Things are different than you think. Things are not exactly as they seem. Can you hold that light and not know the facts of what they are? Can you feel it? There's a reason for this season here. I want you to feel the love and compassion for you, the seed inside you that never dies, the soul that is connected to the Creator. Oh, there's a veil there, and that's the mystery. Because it's not totally revealed to you, but what is the love. You can feel it. And I'll say it again, does it bother you to be loved unconditionally by the creative source without you having to perform? Get used to it. It's even involved in your physics on this planet. Benevolence is going to be more than you think. Don't leave this place in fear. There's so much to celebrate in the year of the One. And so it is.
So it is good day to you, good day to you, good day again, again, again. So now that you know all about numerology, and you know who you are, why you are, where you are, and what in the world is going on, you know that is truly the divine order of things. When you talk to the astrologers and they do the name of Donald Trump, they come up with the same information. Exactly, that Donald Trump, even though it was a big shock for all, whether you voted or not, as the dearest Lee says, that it is a part of the divine order of this culture, of this land. It is all of those things put together. And the reason why it is important for each of you to learn in that numerology and astrology and all Kabbalah, all of those energies, is because the more you know yourself, the more you can be yourself. And the more you are yourself, you give others permission to be themselves. And as others are being themselves, it is so important for that vibrational frequency to know that it raises your vibration in 152% greater than what it might have been before. So do your numbers, do your numerology, do the energy. Know that when you have the master number in your name, to know that you may be a master, as we know all of you are masters, yes, and with each of you being those masters, it is time for you to teach that master as well. Teach the masters that are around you. You see, when you open your heart chakra, all the energy keeps coming round about and keeps bumping here and bumping there. And with that open heart, you know you get the opportunity to see clearly. You get the opportunity to hear with your heart, see with your ears, and touch with your eyes. Because that is the new vibration of this land, is to have a completely new change, a completely new energy. And the more, if you feel yourself being frustrated, we know you know this, but we're going to tell you anyway because someone back there in the back of the room still needs to hear it. If you're still trying to do the things the way you did them before 2012, that is where the frustration comes from. Because they're not going to work that way. Everything is new. Everything is different. Woohoo! Celebrate that, eh? As that energy comes through, you know you are a different being than you were in 2011, yes? It's like everybody thought the world was going to end. It didn't. It was just all anew. As we knew it before, it was different. You are different today than you were yesterday. Yes? So know that as you are evolving, absolutely everything in your world is evolving as well. And it is high time you might as well celebrate that. Because when you celebrate it, all of those changes, they're going to be there anyway. So you might as well celebrate it. Because if you push against the change, what happens? That change pushes back, exactly. John, huh? Thank you, very smart. The change pushes back. The energy pushes back. And the more you push against it, the bigger that is going to get. What is that they say, those wise folks like Kryon, what you persist, what you resist persists. All of that energy, as it is coming through, is about acknowledging the divinity that you are. And we tell you this over and over and over. But every cell of your body, every particle, every atom in your field is that divinity. That same energy that is shifted and shared with all other humans on this planet. So when you start dividing the planet up and say, well, they must be wrong because they don't agree with me, that is not the way it works. They make chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry for a reason. What some resonate with this, and some resonate with that, and some resonate with something else, that does not make one wrong or the other wrong. That just makes it different. And ideally, what all the channels of the planet are coming together to help each of the humans learn is about that divinity that is within. So therefore, the peace that you are can ignite and be a particle of humanity. And as that particle of humanity comes through, as you know, we said earlier, your particle bumps into someone else's particle, and their particle bumps into someone else's particle, and before you know it, you've got the whole particle dance. And all the particles dancing together. And when they dance together, then what happens in the heart? What happens when you dance? Besides when you have to close your eyes so you know that you're invisible and you get worried about the way you look when you're dancing. But what happens when you dance is you feel that joy of the physical body. You feel the movement of the physical form. You feel the focus of that energy, and you acknowledge that it is your birthright. And if you don't feel joy when you are dancing, it is only because someone said you are not a good dancer, so you get that imprint. And so let that go, pop that out of yourselves, and know that when you close your eyes, they can't see you anyway. Yes? So then you can dance all you want. Because it is still your birthright. Someone asked us earlier, so we gave you 4 elements of compassion, but we didn't give you the last 2. We actually gave you 3 elements, but we kind of spun right over them. The four elements of compassion. So we're going to bring that up for whoever asked the question earlier. The four elements as we see compassion, which may not be the way anyone else describes it. The world according to Adironnda. Peace. Love, of course. Joy, your birthright. And community. Because you see, you are social beings. Even if you are the Lone Ranger, even if you want to go off on your mountain and live by yourself, that is fine. You are still a part of the community of the trees and the rocks and the plants. Community in this element is so important. That is why Lee, our dearest Lee and Kryon and beings are gathering people together every weekend, even on a plane. Every weekend they are gathering energies together because community helps you. Community supports you. They are your cheerleaders. They help you pick you up when you are down. They help acknowledge you when you are hurt. They help when your car bumps into another car. The community comes in to help you there. They support you. Community. So gather your community together in your town, in your home. Bring people in to meditate. Bring people in to listen to the Kryon channelings. Bring people in to listen to the double digit. We've been doing the numbers for a very long time too. So bring those energies together. Where two or more are gathered, miracles happen. Where two or more are gathered, we see that it magnifies that energy times 144. So when you have two people together, that's the energy of 288. When you have four people together, that's a lot more. Pull out your little calculators and figure it out, huh? Community. That is the soul of compassion. You understand? With that soul of compassion, your energy and your vibration shifts the consciousness in mass. Shifts the consciousness of this planet. So, you can indeed be who you are because you know who you are and you give yourself permission to be who you are 24/7, and you don't live in the closet. You don't live in a hibernation necessarily. Even if your community is nature, it is still about community. And you must have those four elements to live through that compassionate energy that appears to be chaos right now. Because from chaos comes change. And we know that change is a part of us. We also love that 5 number. Because that 5 number is so asymmetrical. When we do the numbers, we go in the physical form too. 1 is the pillar, standing alone. 1 has not a strong foundation aboard, but it still stays upright. Now we see the 0 of the 2017 year as the 0 being source. All things together. So you've got the 1 and you've got the source together blending, igniting into these times, into these wondrous elements of change. The 5 itself being change, it has to balance, yes? It's got that rolly bottom on it, and it's got the top head that gets a little heady here, and it's got the straight line and a big curve, like a big pregnant belly, and it's got to balance. So that is why it's going to change one way or another. Huh? Acknowledge that energy. Acknowledge the focus of who you are within that element of change. Many years ago, when the change was upon us, what we saw was everyone that we came in contact with would gather all their change, their coins in their pockets, put them in a beautiful bowl, and say, I love change. So they've got this big, beautiful bowl of change, right? And they're entering away to just honor the energy of change. You might as well, can't hurt. And then one day you get to buy yourself something with all that change. You see? It is all in your perspective, in how you look at things, how you honor things, and how you focus. So trust that. Trust yourself. Trust that change will occur. And allow that flow to move through it. Namaste.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. All that has been said is accurate and true. And dear ones, you're going to find the channelings of the age allied in this. And the message is beautiful and difficult. I want to talk about you in a way we've done before, but maybe one you've not experienced. How old are you? Don't count the years. I said, how old are you? You're ancient. All of you. Every single one. And there are those who would say, well, I'm not really sure of that. I don't believe that. I have no evidence of that. Take away that which is cerebral for a moment and just go inside. You are a knowing human being. You wouldn't be in this meeting unless you were at least asking the question, is this real? The knowingness inside is not an intellectual pursuit or result of anything logical. You know things. You know that there is a great deal out there that you are not aware of, but that somehow you're part of. In that knowing state, how old are you? What if I told you yet again that this galaxy is one of many, in a universe that is one of many, and that as far back as you want to project in years, light years, computations, as far back as you can count, you are there. A part of you which you call the soul, and we use a word that you've never even heard. A word we say in light that means family. You've never heard. You can't hear light. But when you're not here, you can. And if you were not here, and if you were with me, with the creative source right now, and we said the word in our own language, in our own way, in light, you would resound to it because it's home. That's how old you are. It means you watched this earth in its molten state. Wherever you were, you watched it in its molten state. Dear ones, the soul that you think you are is more complex than you know. Pieces and parts so divine that they are still with the Creator now. You call it your higher self. We call it family in light. Part of you is on the other side of the veil. There is a connection to the human being and the higher self. It goes through the veil, and it is seen in laughter and in joy and in love. And compassion is the cord that connects you to it. And when you are exhausted in laughter, you are connected to God. Can't you feel it? That's what you feel that is so infectious. That's what you'd like to bottle pull out anytime you wanted to. That is the elusive thing, that joy, that inner child that is so much part of God. But it's you, believe me. Part of you is on the other side. You were here all along. You have been many places in this galaxy before Earth ever had life on it. And yet there was part of you on the other side as well. In whatever form you were in 3D in this galaxy, perhaps performing the same thing you're doing today, there was still part of you with the creative source. You watched this Earth develop. And you knew what it was about. The meaning of life, what is it? Really, what is it? The meaning of life is literally the meaning of love. Can you take society and put it together and by itself, without even knowing there's anything outside, have itself eventually lift itself to a benevolent and graduate state? That is the puzzle of life. And I will tell you something. The answer is yes. And that's what you've done. And that's been done before in this galaxy and by those with names in light that are you. You're bigger than you think, and here it is again. Don't be afraid of change, for it is the catalyst of harmony. Change will put things together eventually that will synchronize into one field. That has been proven in physics. My partner will speak of it tomorrow. And you may not understand what I'm telling you, but I am saying you've seen this before. And yet in 3D, without you being able to see anything across the veil, for some it is fearful. For some it is disappointing. For some they're really ready for it. The old soul has to put aside the boxes of bias and smile for what is occurring on this planet that we said would be here. There is more to this story than you know, and it will show itself. The potentials are there for something that you don't expect. And we have said that before. Dear ones, are you prepared to look at all of these things in a circumspect way as an old soul who's been here from the beginning? There was a time when there was only beginning life on this planet where we saw this and you saw this. And I want to tell you what you did. There are billions of souls here. And I want to tell you what you did. You said, I want to be part of it. I want to be the gender that I am now, and I want to be part of this shift when it comes. I'm going to adjust my lifespan for it. And it might mean that you came and went quick so you could come back and be part of this right now at the age you are. How does that make you feel? You said, I'm not going to miss this party. I'm going to be part of the shift and the change. And you are. And the reason you said that, all of that eons ago, the reason you said that, because you knew that you'd be an old soul. And more than likely, you'd be able to help this shift in the light you carry. And you couldn't wait to do it. That's who you are. Older than old. Uncountable in years. And known by God, every single one. This is the message of Kryon, given over and over. And it coordinates with all of the other channels of this planet who right now are here because of the shift and giving you the same message over and over and over in their way, in words that are different. But it's the same thing. There is more here than you think. A lot more. Kryon, you've said there are things coming. I'm afraid. That's your choice, isn't it? Why does change elicit fear? And the reason is because in an old energy, dear ones, change almost always meant bad things. And that is the human bias. Everything in the future is a repeat of everything in the past. I've got a message tonight all about that. And something that is changing that you never thought would change. The very internal structure of spirituality may be shifting. I will tell you that. One of the biggest changes that Spirit asks you to accept is that the past is not the future. The past is not the future. The past is not the future. All you have seen is a repeat of what you've seen. Now turn the page and see it as different. Can you do it? Can you change a paradigm of thought to the degree that you will not be influenced by what always was? And that's tough for the human who depends on what happened before to know how to act in the future. It's a 1 year. It is the 1 year. The one past the shift. It is the beginning of paradigm change, and it doesn't come easy. If I told you you might have to do it incorrectly before you saw what was correct, would you accept it? It means there's work to do. It means that there are things that may fall on their faces before they seem to not work anymore. That there's old energy things that always work that won't work in the future. Doesn't it make sense to you that when you start to graduate into a new energy, the old things don't apply? If you can get used to that message, you can relax. What is it you're going to learn? Prepare. What you're going to learn is wisdom about what doesn't work. And then you will shift it into wisdom that will. That's all part of that which is being on the planet Earth as an old soul. Lighthouses awake. Strike your lights and shine this like you never have before. And so it is.
Close your eyes for a few moments. Take a nice, full, deep breath. And feel into the resonance of the sound. Just let yourself go back there into that beautiful, soft sound that carries you, that gives you moments of peace. That place where you can be floating on that wave of peace. Those sounds of harmony. Without thinking, just in this moment, on that beautiful wave. And maybe in that wave you hear that word, peace. Or you hear the word, love, floating through. Or maybe even, yes. as it fills the room, fills your heart, and lifts your soul in the receiving of the message from Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. The channeling this evening is going to be different. We'll speak about things we really have not spoken much about. It is about the complexity of the human spiritual system. And before we begin, just an acknowledgement of why we're here. The process of channeling, which will not always exist, is here for one reason, and that is to celebrate the human being. It is never here to accuse. It is never here to spread fear. It's never here to motivate you to do something you would not do otherwise. This is family at its best, who sits with you and holds your hand and tells you a story about your enablement, of how worthy you are, of how beautiful the system is. And if you sit in front of someone who says they're channeling and you don't hear that, be discernful of what is what. For the creative source of the universe and you are aligned in purpose, in compassion, in love. And even though a veil separates you from all of that, you can still feel it. Perhaps you can see it and feel it in my words. I was never a human. I am not necessarily a single entity, if you want to even say the word. I'm a voice from home, representing trillions and trillions of what you would call souls of God. God is bigger than you think, different than you think, more loving than you know, and far, far beyond that which is called human consciousness. God does not do human things. God does not have reactions to human things. There are no disputes in heaven with God. Only the compassion and the love that is as pure as anything you can conjure up, so that we can give you messages that are benevolent, kind, loving, and empowering. That's who God is. That's the kind of messages I bring. And I wanted to qualify that, if I never had before, of the purpose of channeling and what it's about. Never is it presented to conjure up a following. Never. It's just information for those who want to hear the truth of the beauty that surpasses any understanding of any human being. It's bigger than you know. I set up a pretense, a question. And the question is this: do you believe it's reasonable that as the energy and the system and what is old and what is new, as it shifts into a new paradigm, is it reasonable that the attributes would also change of anything that used to be. And if you are agreement to that, then you will not find this message controversial. You will welcome it and know that it's real. But there are those who will say God is always God, the systems are always the same, the reaction with humanity is always the same. Things that have been the same for 1,000 years will be therefore the same for the next 1,000, no matter what you do. And for those, you should close your ears to what's coming, because you won't like it. The beauty of this message, dear ones, is that the very intrinsic system, if you want to call it, of human spirituality that you have become used to is starting to change. We have concentrated almost exclusively on your change in consciousness, in DNA, your higher self, relation to God, all of these things. We've not really talked much about anything else until now. It has to make sense to you that in an older energy, things were one way. In a new energy, they begin to change. Perhaps one of the most stable things, and yet the most misunderstood, is the human Akash. It's stable in that you are aware of it. Let us again define it. Let's look at it together. The Akash is the energy of what has been. In the times that you have been on earth, which we would call your expressions of energy. You call them past lives. To you, life is everything. To us, we see life as passing. One to another to another. We see you in transition constantly. We always see you in transition. We see the soul which is you as ancient, and we also see it as forever. We see the potentials of your next life, all of you. It is your choice on this side of the veil, what you do, how you do it, but it's part of a system with the others who are also looking at the same thing. We never see a life. We see a system. In this, I say to you, especially those who have lost loved ones recently, that there is no death. You move from one system to another, from one paradigm to another. And the very essence, the personality, the soul, the beauty, the love, the compassion, all that you think is gone and lost isn't. It isn't. It's all still there. And the beauty of the system is that some of it passes to you, if you want to believe it or not. And others, part of the system goes literally into the veil of the earth. And it's complicated. Those human beings you think you've lost are still here in so many ways. And so are you in your past expressions. The complexity of the human system is far beyond anything that you've been told. Listen to me. Every life expression you've ever had, part of your soul, goes into the planet and the grid when you leave and stays here. How does that make you feel to know that you're part of the dirt of the earth? That's part of the grid that starts to work with other human beings. Your wisdom and what you've learned stays here and works with your next incarnation. Don't be shocked and surprised when you walk into the forest and you feel family and you say, this is the greatest thing I ever felt, and you had no idea. You're feeling you. No wonder it feels good. What a system. But then there's the Akash. The Akash supposedly is an energetic record of what you've done. It is not organized in a linear fashion. And yet you want it to be. You want to then have a past life reader tell you who you've been and what happened. And the reader knows that all they're getting is a smattering of energy that is yours in the past. They cannot tell you really when. They can tell you what you're working on, what has been completed, what's beautiful about the cycle of the ones and the nines for you, and the freedom, perhaps, of karmic energy that you have now. And the Akash will be read like a book when it comes to that, and the numbers are obvious. It's also known for carrying past karmic energy. It's known for also prodding you to do other things. Sometimes the Akash gets in the way because there's unfinished energy. Things you have to dismiss, become unafraid of, learn from. That's all part of the past record brought forward to you today. There are those who carry biases, tremendous biases you're not even aware of. They're intrinsic. They're in you. They're in your DNA because of what happened to you last time or the time before or the time before. Remember, you shift in gender and race. You're everyone. So many things have happened to you you're not even aware of that you carry, and today something will happen and there'll be this knee-jerk reaction. A thought will occur and you'll say, where did that come from? Or perhaps you don't even care. You simply react. There are still so many of you who won't go near the water. Too many drownings have an impact. The fear of this and that and this and that carries through the Akash into today. And so much of what you're learning now, old soul, is how to work with it and dismiss it. But then, in the last 2, 3, 4 years, we've started talking about using the Akash differently. Use it as a storehouse of knowledge that you can pick from. What is it you used to have that you would like now? What about health? What about a longer life? You earned it. It's in your Akash. All of these things we talk about, the lack of fear, self-worth, courage, it's all in there. You've had it all. And we've talked about this. Can you go get it? Can you work on it? And the answer is yes. And you ask how? And we say the catalyst is your innate. That which is connected to your higher self will start to work with you to give you the things you need that you earned that are already there in your Akash. Now that's new. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. The system of the Akash is energy-driven, not time-driven. But it is an energy of what happened. Therefore, there is something we have never mentioned in public channel before, and it's called the Akashic Template. Let me explain it this way. The system that you have is built to help you. Your Akash is present to help you. It is a benevolent system to push you and pull you away from the fears you've had, to present things that you have to solve, to have completion in your life as an old soul, to move forward with self-worth. And the past is involved because it's in your DNA. It won't go away. You can't delete it. But you can solve it. You can use consciousness to dismiss it. You can throw away your karma, which we've told you 26 years ago to do. You can get into a state with your higher self that your Akash will then agree with. You can start to rewrite the things that bothered you. But that's not what I want to talk about. The template is something that has happened over and over and over, and in total benevolence, this template is then applied to each life to help the next one. But the template is based on old energy. Old souls all carry an old template. New souls on the planet will not past 2017. The very Akashic template of a newborn will start to shift. The newborns will not necessarily carry an old energy into this life because the transition of the shift is over. The year of the 9 has been completed. The 1 year is here, and the template begins to change. Now let's stop talking about the newborn for a moment and talk about the old soul and what the template may mean and what it is doing, because you're going to be surprised. What is it a human being has? Lifetime after lifetime, expression after expression. You are culturally allied to the template and lifespan. How old do you get before you die? When does aging set in? And you might say, wait a minute, that's not benevolent. What if I told you it was, dear ones, in an old system that has you die and come back quickly so that you can continue a beautiful, beautiful system? That if you lasted too long, if you were here too far, you would miss out on coming back quickly. What if I told you that the template actually is alive and well in you, that is still working on an old assumption that you've got to leave this planet in order to come back with new information that we talk about? Dear ones, that is the old system. It's a system of old souls. You leave the planet and you come back and you continue while you're young. You pick up the wisdom and you continue. Now, some of you are starting to draw the picture already. In this new energy, you're going to last a lot longer. The very consciousness that is promoted by the shift is going to have the ability to solve health problems, consciousness problems, self-worth problems. You won't be dying of broken hearts. You won't be dying because you're desperate or you don't believe in yourself. And that's all part of the old template. That when you get into that scenario, you leave the planet and you come back so you can continue. But suddenly, that's not the way it is. You start to pick up things from the old Akash. It keeps you alive longer and healthier. You're able to share more. You're able to have mastery in your old age. The old 60 is 80. And you move forward. You have no idea how long you're built to live, dear ones, with the DNA that you have. We've said it before. 100 years, way too short. The human body is built to live hundreds of years. It self-replicates. It repairs. It keeps going. But in an old energy, it does it badly. In a new energy, it won't. And yet you're sitting there with an old template that is designed to kill you. How do you like it so far? I want to give you some wonderful news. You're in charge of your template. Totally. and completely, as it should be. If you're one who simply looks down at your body and says, "Hi, body, I hope you last," it won't. It'll just do what it wants. But if you understand you're the boss and you're in charge of all your cells, that your DNA responds to the boss, the consciousness is everything. That is the system. The young people starting to be born on this planet right now will understand that better than any of you. They will last longer. They'll understand they're in charge intuitively without ever having a Kryon book. It will simply be in their innate. And their template will be responding to this new energy that they carry. Meanwhile, you've got to rewrite yours. It will respond, it will respond, it will respond. How do I say this to you? Some of you and some listening to this have this overwhelming feeling of how long you're going to live, and it's not going to be that long. When you're going to shut down, what diseases you're going to catch, and when it's all happening, because the template is the old one. Dear ones, it is not necessary for you to terminate to continue. It is not necessary for you to terminate to continue. It is not necessary to terminate to continue. It just isn't. It isn't. And all you have to do is start affirming that. To the template. Talk to it. Dear cellular structure, I am here for the duration. And nothing in the past will determine the future of me. I will last as long as I should. In all appropriateness, I'll decide when it's time to go. Not the old template. Because I'm going to live longer and accomplish more because of it. I am an old soul. That's the information. And the controversy of it is there will be howls from those who say, no, no, no. No, the spirituality is the spirituality. It's always the same, always will be the same. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Not understanding. It's not God you're talking about, it's humans. The relationship to God is not the same forever. It's new. Real new. Oh, you're so enabled and you don't know it. What news could be better than this? Internally, spiritually, you are in control of the system. And it will not be in control of you. I want you to think of that when you face the doctor and he says something you don't like. And you can just smile and know better. The doctor may be correct completely based upon the past, but not what you know about the future. Blessed are the humans who understand this fully right now, who know what I speak of, who are ready to make a shift of consciousness, one that starts to define who they are instead of letting the past define who they are. And the beauty of this is this template of yours will respond, understand, know, and start to help you. It's not necessary to terminate at this time like you did before. Ryan, I don't fully understand what you're talking about. You will. When it's time to make the decision to stay. This is your legacy. This is why you came. This is the shift. Change is at hand. And so it is.